Well, I think the evidence here behind me shows that quite to the contrary of what Greyhound is saying about collections, bins and bags are not being collected across the city of Dublin. Now, it's quite clear that if people see that there has been a proper level of service being provided, then I'm sure that people will be very happy to pay the charges. So what needs to happen now is that Dublin City Council Manager, John Tierney, with Assistant City Manager Seamus Lyons, the two men that are responsible for drawing up and agreeing this contract with Greyhound, need to get round the table with Greyhound. They need to knock heads together to need to ensure that where miscollections are happening, that these bags are collected ASAP, and they need also to ensure that the commitments made in the contract are actually lived up to as quickly as possible. As someone who was in favour or who supported the idea of this Dublin City Council leaving or exiting the waste collection service, the whole manner in which this has been handled is an example of how not to do it. There's been no proper communication with residents from either Dublin City Council or Greyhound. There's been no information as to how they can pay, how their collection days have changed, and these are issues that were supposed to be ironed out before the 16th of January, and quite simply they haven't happened. And these are issues that, as I said, need to be ironed out between John Tierney, the City Manager, Assistant City Manager Seamus Lyons and Greyhound. And until these things are resolved, there is no way in which Greyhound should be demanding upfront payments from members of the public.
Right now we're using bin tags. We still have some older bin tags, and so we've just noticed that since Greyhound has been collecting the bins or taking it over from Dublin City Council, that it's much more, the rubbish is there all day, and it's much slower to be collected, and it's a bit messy on the streets, and it has been ever since it had the handover a month ago or so.
My major issue is that even on their website, Greyhound actually have it that you may pay the €50, the €100 fee, but you may pay it at half the year, and as soon as you pay it, your balance goes to -50. It's not, it's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that you now have to pay double. I believe that our bin charges are going to be double. And I don't think Dublin City made a wise decision. They've cleaned up the streets, yes, absolutely, but I think I'd like to see what it's like in a couple of weeks.